I've been told that I'm not ready for this, but I am. Hello, Mr. Guest. Would you like to explain this graphic to us? I'm seeing a picture and I don't quite understand.
This shit again. Well, it's Benjamin Ass. Benjamin Ass.
What?
That's not. No, that's
What?
slightly
Right.
wrong.
Oh,
Huh?
fuck.
You're almost there.
Almost in whose ass? I mean,
Benjamin. Wait, what's the joke again?
you.
Yeah,
Sure,
obviously.
the joke. And your is the joke.
Yay. Stream just started and I'm already fucking up.
Oh.
Wow, this doesn't bode well.
I mean, if you had your camera on, you could be fucking down on Teras, but
I'm gonna have a McDonald's wrap.
that's a wrap. See you next week.
Great stream.
Just pull out a wrap at the end. That's the ultimate move. Shall we start, or would you like to say some final prayers?
If the CEO of McDonald's is watching, which let's be honest, he probably is. I'm quite a fan of these wraps.
How much are they paying you again? Garrett is so poor he can't even afford product placement. Hello, Cat Peasant. Cat Peasant's the CEO.
Hello.
Oh god. Krotan, would you like to read, or are you just here to explain images to us?
I'd rather explain images. At least I can get my head around them.
Oh, cool. Let me make some more images then.
Good. Okay, we all got our jobs. Let's go.
Cool.
1 Chronicles 20. Now it happened that, after the course of a year, in the time when kings usually go forth to war, Joab gathered an army with experienced soldiers, and he laid waste to the land of the sons of Ammon. And he continued on and besieged Rabbah. Rabbah, actually. It's Rabbah. I am Rabbah, you are glue. But David was staying in Jerusalem when Joab struck Rabbah and destroyed it. Then David took the crown of Malcolm in the middle from his head, and he found...
Shut the fuck up.
And he found in it the weight of 1 talent of gold and very precious gems. And he made himself a diadem from it. Also, he took the best spoils from the city, which were very many. Then he led away the people who were in it. And he caused plows and sleds and iron chariots to go over them, so much so that they were cut apart and crushed. Well, so he just had people trampled to death, basically.
Classic.
Nice.
I like how the camera is now starting to lag out again when it was fine before. This is just... Life is pain. But it's not as laggy as last time.
Imagine relying on Discord for things.
Yeah. Shall we go back to Jitsi?
I mean, we can. Shut up.
Yeah, just make sure it doesn't get your microphone or you'll just hate life. Well, actually, we will. So did David treat all the cities of the sons of Ammon. He returned with all his people to Jerusalem. After these things, a war was begun at Gezer against the Philistines, in which Sibbecai the Hushathite struck Sippai from the race of Rephaim, and he humbled them. Also, another war was undertaken against the Philistines, in which Adeodatus, a son of the forest, a Bethlehemite, struck the brother of Goliath the Gittite, the wood of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. Then, too, another war occurred in Gath, in which there was a very tall man having 6 digits, that is, altogether 24.
Wow, thanks.
Huh?
Very cool.
There was a very tall man having 6 digits, that is altogether 24.
Yeah, he had six fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. Which altogether adds up to 24.
I literally don't understand what they're even trying to.
Yeah,
he was a strange man.
6 digits. That is altogether 24. In what kind of system is 6 digits 24?
In a system where you have 4 limbs.
False.
Like a human.
No. This man too was born from this
featherless biped.
From the stock of the Rephaim. He blasphemed Glasgow, and Jonathan, the son of Shimea, the brother of David, struck him down. Those were the sons of the Rephaim in Gath, who fell by the hand of David and his servants. Thanks, cat peasant. Why is the camera working again now? Now it's smooth.
Smooth.
Don't jinx it.
I don't believe in jinxing. I only believe in alcohol.
You know what? That's a fucking fair point.
Yeah.
1 Chronicles 21. Now Satan rose up against Glasgow, and he incited David so that he would number Glasgow. And David said to Joab and to the leaders of the people, "Go and number Glasgow from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring me the numbers so that I may know it." And Joab responded, "May the Lord increase his people 100 times more than they are. But, my lord the king, are they not all your servants? Why would my lord seek this thing which may be imputed as a sin to Glasgow?" Ah, yes, numbering your people is a sin. Of course, yeah, sure.
Doesn't that mean that the Book of Numbers is a sin?
Apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a whole book right there. That's just one giant sin.
Maybe we should incinerate it.
Ooh.
I will incinerate your fucking house with you in it.
What are you insinuating?
You're cruising for a bruising.
But the word of the king prevailed instead. And Joab went away, and he traveled around through all of Glasgow. And he returned to Jerusalem, and he gave to David the number of those whom he had surveyed. And the entire number of Glasgow was found to be 1,100,000 men who could draw the sword. But from Judah there were 470,000 men. But Levi and Benjamin Yoras he did not number, for Joab executed the orders of the king unwillingly. Then Skytis was displeased with what had been ordered, and so he struck Glasgow.
Wow.
And David said to Skytis, "I have sinned exceedingly in doing this. I beg you, take away this iniquity of your servant, for I have acted unwisely." And the Lord spoke to Gad, the seer of David, saying, "Go and speak to David and tell him, thus says the Lord, I give to you the option of 3 things. Choose one that you will want and I will do it to you." And when Gad had gone to David, and he said to him, "Thus says the Lord, choose what you will want, either 3 years of famine, or 3 months for you to flee from your enemies, unable to escape from their sword, or 3 days for the sword of the Lord and the pestilence to turn within the land, with the anger of the Lord killing in every part of Glasgow. Now therefore, see what I should respond to him who sent me." And David said to Gad, "There are difficulties pressing upon me from every side, but it is better for me to fall into the hands of the Lord, for his mercies are many, than into the hands of men." Therefore, the Lord sent a pestilence upon Glasgow, and there fell from Glasgow 70,000 men, and not a single woman or child.
Just apparently. Okay.
They don't count.
True. I mean, we can be glad that they were even able to count back then. Also, he sent an angel to Jerusalem so that he might strike it. And while he was striking, the Lord saw and took pity over the magnitude of the harm. And he commanded the angel who was striking, "It is enough. Now let your hand cease." And the angel of the Lord was standing beside the threshing floor of Ornan, the walnut branch Jesus side. And David, lifting up his eyes, saw the angel of the Lord standing between heaven and earth with a drawn sword in his hand, turned towards Jerusalem. And both he and those greater by birth, being clothed in haircloth, fell prone to the ground. And David said to Skytis, "Am I not the one who ordered that the people be numbered? It is I who sinned. It is I who did evil. This flock, what does it deserve? O Lord my Skytis, I beg you to let your hand be turned against me and against the house of my daddy. But let not your people be struck down." Then the angel of the Lord instructed Gad to tell David that he should ascend and build an altar to the Lord Skytis on the threshing floor of Ornan, the walnut branch Jesus side. Therefore David ascended in accord with the word of Gad, which he had spoken to him in the name of the Lord. Now, when Ornan had looked up and seen the angel, he and his 4 sons hid themselves. By that time, he was threshing wheat upon the floor. Then, as David was approaching Ornan saw him, and he went out from the threshing floor to meet him. And he reverenced him prone on the ground. And David said to him, "Give this place of your threshing floor to me, so that I may build an altar to the Lord upon it. And you shall accept from me as much money as it is worth, so that the plague may cease from the people." But Ornan said to David, "Take it, and may my lord the king do whatever pleases him. Moreover, I give the coxswain also as a holocaust, and the plough for wood, and the wheat for a sacrifice. I will offer all freely." What? What? And King David said to him, "By no means shall it be so. Instead, I will give money to you, as much as it is worth, for I must not take it from you and thereby offer to the Lord holocausts that cost nothing." Therefore, David gave Ornan for the place Therefore, David gave Ornan for the place the very just weight of 600 shekels of gold. And he built an altar to the Lord there, and he offered holocausts and peace offerings, and he called upon the Lord. And he heeded him by sending fire from heaven upon the altar of the holocaust. And the Lord instructed the angel, and he turned his sword back into its sheath. Then,
how many degrees did he turn it, since it was an angle?
The right amount.
Well, that's not very precise.
What? That is very precise. A right angle is a very precise amount. Then, seeing that the Lord had heeded him at the threshing floor of Ornan, the walnut branch Jesus side, David immediately immolated victims there. But the Skytis tent of the Lord, which Moses had made in the desert, and the altar of holocausts were at that time on the high place of Gibeon. And David was unable to go to the altar so that he might pray to Skytis there, for he had been struck with an exceedingly great fear, seeing the sword of the angel of the Lord. I just want to point out, we were just speedrunning the entire Bible, and now it's not even a summary of the previous books. Now we're just getting a seemingly exact retelling of the previous 4 or so books. Why?
Well, good thing I didn't watch the other episodes then. So this is all new to me.
No, it's if you would have been there, you could have created more content.
Okay.
Isn't that right, He-Man? 1 Chronicles 22. And David said, "This is the house of Skytis, and this is the altar for the holocaust of Glasgow." And he instructed them to gather all the new converts from the land of Glasgow. And from these he appointed stoneworkers to hew stones and to polish them, so that he might build the house of Skytis. Also, David prepared very much iron to use for the nails of the gates, and for the seams and joints, as well as an immeasurable weight of brass. Also, the cedar trees, which the Sidonians and Tyrians had transported to David, were not able to be counted. And David said, "My son Solomon is a young and tender boy. But the house that I desire to be built to the Lord ought to be so great that it is renowned in every region. Therefore, I will prepare what will be necessary for him." And for this reason, before his death, with one F, he prepared all the expenses. And he called for Solomon, his son. And he instructed him to build a house to the Lord, the Skytes of Glasgow. And David said to Solomon, "My son, it was my will that I build a house to the name of the Lord my Skytes. But the word of the Lord came to me, saying, You have shed much blood, and you have battled many wars. You are not able to build a house to my name. So great was the shedding of blood before me. The son who shall be born to you will be a very quiet man, for I will cause him to have rest from all his enemies on every side. And for this reason, he shall be called peaceful. And I will grant peace and tranquility to Glasgow during all his days. He shall build a house to my name, and he shall be a son to me, and I will be a daddy to him. And I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Glasgow unto eternity. Now then, my son, may the Lord be with you, and may you prosper and build a house to the Lord your Skytes, just as he has spoken concerning you. Also, may the Lord give you prudence and understanding, so that you may be able to rule Glasgow and to guard the law of the Lord your Skytes. For then you will be able to advance, if you keep the commandments and judgments that the Lord instructed Moses to teach to Glasgow. Be strengthened and act manfully. You should not fear, and you should not dread. Oh. Behold, in my poverty I have prepared the expenses for the house of the Lord, 100,000 talents of gold and 1,000,000 talents of silver. Yet truly there is no measuring the brass and the iron, for their magnitude is beyond numbering. And I have prepared the timber and the stones for the entire project. Also, you have very many artisans, stone workers, and builders of walls, and craftsmen of wood, and those most prudent in doing the work of every art, with gold and silver, and with brass and iron, of which there is no number. Therefore, rise up and act, and the Lord will be with you. Also, David instructed all the leaders of Glasgow so that they would assist his son Solomon, saying, You discern that the Lord your Skytes is with you, and that he has given you rest on all sides, and that he has delivered all your enemies into your hands, and that the land has been subdued before the Lord and before his people. Therefore, offer your hearts and your souls, so that you seek the Lord your Skytes. And rise up and build a sanctuary to the Lord's Skytes, so that the ark of the covenant of the Lord and the vessels consecrated to the Lord may be brought into the house that is built to the name of the Lord. Good choice. I'll be right back.
Gay.
I'm back. Hi, Teras.
Oh shit, he's back.
Hi.
Hey, yo guys, Skytis is back.
Shit.
No, back is back, not Skytis. I'm back.
Backpack.
Leave Estonian out of this.
Pack.
He's a backpack.
He's a backpack. You're not wrong.
I very much remember when he proudly proclaimed himself to be a backpack. Good old times. 1 Chronicles 23. And then David, being old and full of days, appointed his son Solomon as king over Glasgow. And he gathered together all the leaders of Glasgow with the priests as well as the Levites. And the Levites were numbered from the age of 30 years and upward.
Ow.
And there were found 38,000 men. Of these, 24,000 were chosen and distributed to the ministry of the house of the Lord. Then 6,000 were overseers and judges. Moreover, 4,000 were porters, and the same number were the singers of psalms to the Lord, with the musical instruments which he had made for the music. That includes He-Man. And David distributed them into courses according to the sons of Levi. Specifically, Gershom and Kohath and Merari. The sons of Gershom, Ladan and Shimei. The sons of Ladan, the leader Jahil and Zetham and Joel, 3. The sons of Shimei, Shelomoth and Haziel and Haran, 3. These were the leaders of the families of Ladan. Then the sons of Shimei, Jahath and Zizah and Jeush and Beriah. These were the sons of Shimei, 4. Now Jahath was first, Zizah second, but Jeush and Beriah did not have many sons, and for this reason they were reckoned as one family and one house. The sons of Kohath, Amram and Izhar, Hebron and Uzziel, 4. The sons of Amram, Triple Arib and Osmosis. Now Triple Arib was separated so that he might minister in the Holy of Holies, he and his sons forever, and so that he might burn incense to the Lord according to his right, and so that he might bless in his name in perpetuity. The sons of Osmosis, the man of Skytis, were also numbered in the tribe of Levi. The sons of Osmosis, Gershom and Eliezer. The sons of Gershom, Shebuel the first. Now the sons of Eliezer were Rehabiah the first. There were no other sons for Eliezer.
Thanks.
Sons,
cool.
1.
Sons quantity 1.
I love when the Bible does this. But the sons of Rehabiah were multiplied exceedingly. The sons of Izhar, Shelomith the first. Yes, 1 son. The sons of Hebron, Jeriah the first, Amariah the second, Jehaziel the third, Jekamiam the fourth. The sons of Uzziel, Micah the first, Isaiah the second. The sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. The sons of Mali, Eleazar and Kish. Then Eleazar died, and had no sons but only daughters. When was Eleazar introduced? Right here. Okay, I have a question, Teras. Technically, Eleazar has been introduced previously in the Bible, but this is a summary.
I'm just gonna drink.
I know. That's exactly what I wanted you to do.
Okay, I bet it was, you fucking slut.
And so the sons of Kish, their brothers, married them. The sons of Mushi, Mali and Eder and Jeremoth, 3. These are the sons of Levi in their kindred and families, leaders in turns, and the number of each of the heads who were doing the work of ministry in the house of the Lord from 20 years of age and upwards. For David said, "The Lord, the skies of Glasgow, has given rest to his people and a habitation in Jerusalem even unto eternity. Neither shall it be the office of the Levites any more to carry the Skytis tent with all its equipment for use in the ministry." Also, according to the last precepts of David, the sons of Levi shall be counted by number from 20 years of age and upward. And they shall be under the hand of the sons of Triple Arab, in the care of the house of the Lord, in the vestibule, and in the chambers, and in the place of purification, and in the sanctuary, and in all the works of the ministry of the temple of the Lord. But the priests shall be over the bread of the presence, and the sacrifice of fine wheat flour, and the unleavened cakes, and the frying pan, and the roasting, and over every weight and measure. Yet truly, the Levites shall stand to confess and to sing to the Lord in the morning, and similarly in the evening, as much in the oblation of the holocausts to the Lord as in the Sabbaths and new moons and other solemnities, according to the number and ceremonies for each and every matter perpetually before the Lord. And let them keep the observances of the Skytis tent of the covenant, and the rituals of the sanctuary, and the observance of the sons of Triple Arab, their brothers, so that they may minister in the house of the Lord.
Are you sure about that?
I hate this book. The book. We should just rename it to the Book of Pain.
The first book of
1 Chronicles 24. Now these were the divisions of the sons of Triple Arab. The sons of Triple Arab, Nadab and Abihu and Eleazar and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died before their daddy and without children.
Wow.
And so Eleazar and Ithamar exercised the priestly office. and David distributed them, that is Zadok of the sons of Eleazar, and Ahimelech of the sons of Ithamar, according to their courses and ministry. And there were found many more of the sons of Eleazar among us, the leading men, than of the sons of Ithamar. Therefore, he divided them so that there were, of the sons of Eleazar, 16 leaders by their families, and of the sons of Ithamar, 8 by their families and houses. Then he divided among them in both families by lot, lowercase, that is. For there were leaders of the sanctuary and leaders of Skytis, as much from the sons of Eleazar as from the sons of Ithamar. And the scribe Shemaiah, Mayahu, the son of Nathanael, a Levite, wrote these down before the king and the leaders, with the Zadok, the priest, and Ahimelech, the son of Abiathar, and also the leaders of the priestly and Levitical families. And there was one house which was preeminent over the others, that of Eleazar. And there was another house which had the others under it, that of Ithamar. Now the first lowercase lot went forth to the Jehoiarib, the second to Jediah, the third to Harim, the fourth to Seorim, the fifth to Malkijah, the sixth to meet Gem in your ass. Well, that's the cue right there, Teras.
Oh.
Who the fuck is the meat jam in your ass? I wish it was me jam in your ass. The seventh, Pekos. The eighth, Abijah. The ninth to Jeshua. The 10th to Shechaniah. The 11th to Eliashib. The 12th to Jachim. The 13th to Huppah. The 14th to Jeshabeab. The 15th to Bilgah. The 16th to Immer. The 17th to Hezer. The 18th to Hapizes. The 19th to Pethahiah. The 20th to Jehezkel, the 21st to Jachin, the 22nd to Gamul, the 23rd to Deliah, the 24th to Maziah. Wow. These were their courses according to their ministry, so that they would enter into the house of the Lord in accord with their practice under the hand of Triple Arab, their daddy, just as the Lord, the Guides of Glasgow, had instructed. Now, the sons of Levi who were remaining, there were Shubael from the sons of Amram and Jediah from the sons of Shubael. Also, there was Ishaiah, the leader from the sons of Rehabiah, and truly Shelomoth, the son of Izhar, and Jahath from the son of Shelomoth. No, Jahath, the son of Shelomoth, and his son Jeriah the first, Amariah the second, Jahaziel the third, Jechamiah the fourth. The son of Uzziel was Micah. The son of Micah was Shemiah. The brother of Micah was Ishaiah. And the son of Ishaiah was Zechariah. How many times are we going to repeat the family tree? Teras, do you know the family tree by heart right now? By now?
No, because I refuse to pay attention.
Well, they're going to keep repeating it until you learn it by heart. I think they've repeated this part of the family tree like 3 or 4 times already in this fucking book. Holy shit. 2 times just within this session. How long have we been reading? Less than half an hour. Within less than half an hour, it's already been repeated.
Yeah, they're really trying to hammer it in.
This is very unfortunate.
The sons of Merari were... Now, Teras. Who were the sons of Merari?
I'd pass.
Ferrari?
Mali and Mushi. The son of Uzziah.
Oh, not him again.
The son of Uzziah was Beno. Also, the son of Merari, Uzziah, and Shoham, and Zechar, and Hebri. What is happening?
Hmm?
Why did my Google Doc just disconnected? But my stream apparently didn't. I'm very confused. Reconnecting? Stop.
What is happening?
I wish I knew.
What have you done?
Nothing. Ask Google.
What
if I'm still here, then I have done nothing wrong. In addition, the son of Mali was Eleazar, who had no children. Truly, the son of Kish was Jerahmeel. The sons of Mushi were Mali, Eder, and Jeremoth. These were the sons of Levi according to the houses of their families. And they also cast lots, lowercase, concerning their brothers. the sons of Triple Arab, before David the king, and Zadok and Ahimelech, and the leaders of the priestly and Levitical families, as much concerning the elder as the younger. The lowercase Lot divided all things equitably. I hate this book. I just glancing over the next one. This is going to be fun. 1 Chronicles 25. Then David and the magistrates of the army set apart for the ministry the sons of Asaph, H, and of Heman. There you go. And Jonathan, who were to prophecy with harps and psalteries and cymbals in accord with their number, having been dedicated to their appointed office. From the sons of Asaph, H, Zechar and Joseph, and Nathaniah and Asharellah, the sons of Asaph, H, under the hand of Asaph, H, prophesying beside the king. I don't know if it could be any more redundant if it tried. And then Jeduthun, the sons of Jeduthun, Gedaliah, Zeri, Jeshaiah, and Hashabiah, and Mattithiah, 6 under the hand of their daddy Jeduthun, who was prophesying with stringed instruments while confessing and praising the Lord. Also of Heman.
So I wake in the morning and I step outside.
The sons of Heman.
Take a deep breath and get real high.
Bukia.
Let me get my keyboard out.
Bukia.
Let's make this a musical.
Bukia, yes. Matania, Uzziel, Shebuel, and Jerimoth, Hanani, Eliatha, Gidalti, and Romamtiza.
At that point, it just sounds like you're having a stroke after that.
Josh. I'm not having a stroke. I'm just reading Josh Bekasha and Melothi, Hothia, Mahazioth. All these were the sons of Heman.
Of course.
What's going on?
The seer of the king in the words of Sky, in order to lift up the horn. And Skytus gave to Heman.
Oh my god, and I try.
14 sons and 3 daughters. All these, under their daddy's hand, were distributed in order to sing in the temple of the Lord with cymbals and psalteries and harps.
Speaking of singing.
In the ministry of the house of the Lord, beside the king, specifically Asaph, H, and Jeduthun, and Heman.
I don't know any more lyrics.
I'm pretty sure that's not part of the song.
That's not part of the song, I'm sorry. I failed you.
Are you maybe feeling a little peculiar?
Sure.
Wow. That was supposed to be a hint.
That wasn't a very fucking good hint, because I didn't get it either.
Look up the lyrics and control F for peculiar. And then we'll talk. You clearly just don't know the lyrics, Teras, so you suck.
Your mom's peculiar.
True.
Oh, he wasn't ready.
That's not part of the lyrics. Now the number of these with their brothers who were instructing in the song of the Lord, all the teachers were 288. And they cast lowercase lots in their turns, the elder equally with the younger, the learned together with the unlearned. And the first lowercase lot went forth to Joseph, who was of Asaph, H. The second went forth to Gedaliah, to him and his sons and his brothers, 12. The third went to Zechar, to his sons and brothers, 12. The fourth went to Isri, to his sons and brothers, 12. The fifth went to Nathaniah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The sixth went to Bukia, to his sons and brothers, 12. The seventh went to Jesharilah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The eighth went to Jeshaiah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The ninth went to Mattaniah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 10th went to Shimei, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 11th went to Azarel, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 12th went to Hashabiah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 13th went to Shubael, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 14th went to Mattithiah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 15th went to Jeroboam, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 16th went to Hananiah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 17th went to Joshbekesha, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 18th went to Hanani, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 19th went to Malothi, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 20th went to Eliathah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 21st went to Hophir, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 22nd went to Gidalti, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 23rd went to Mahaziah, to his sons and brothers, 12. The 24th went to Romamtiza, to his sons and brothers, 12. Kill me.
I got a question.
No, take your hand and put it on my throat and kill me.
No, I've got a question.
Just one?
You know how we did the rating thing?
We don't anymore.
Can we start including negative numbers?
How is that a question?
Negative 10 is.
But who's Harris? The maximum score they can get is 10. We never talked about a minimum.
9. Oh, wait, that's your job.
1 Chronicles 26. Now the divisions of the porters were from the Korahites, Meshelemiah, the son of Korah, of the sons of ASAP, H. The sons of Meshelemiah, Zechariah the firstborn, Jediael the second, Zebediah the third, Jethniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jehohanan the sixth, Eliahuenai the seventh. Then the sons of Obededom, Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sakar the fourth, Nathanael the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, Peulathai the eighth, for the Lord had blessed him. Now to his son Shemaiah there were born sons, rulers of their families, for they were very strong men. Then the sons of Shemaiah were Othni and Raphael and Obed and Elzabad and his brothers, very strong men, as well as Elihu and the Machia. All these were from the
I'm a fucking smart cat.
All these were the sons of Obededom, they and their sons and brothers very fit for the ministry, 62 from Obededom. Then there were the sons of Meshelemiah, their brothers, very robust men, 18. Now from Hosa, that is, from the sons of Merari, Shimri the leader, for he had not found a firstborn son, and so, because of this, his daddy had appointed him as the leader. Hilkiah the second, Tebaliah the third, Zechariah the fourth. All these, the sons and brothers of Hosa, were 13. These were distributed as porters, so that the leaders of the post as well as their brothers were ministering continually in the house of the Lord. Then they cast, lowercase, lots, equally for both the small and the great by their families concerning each one of the gates. And the lowercase lot of the Estonian fell out to Shelemiah, but to his son Zechariah, a very prudent and learned man, the northern section was obtained by lowercase lot. Truly, Obededom and his sons obtained that to the south, in the part of the house where the council of elders was. Shuppim and Hosa obtained that toward the west, beside the gate that leads to the way of the ascent, one post facing the other.
Wrong.
Truly, toward the Estonian there were 6 Levites, and toward the north there were 4 per day. And then, toward the south similarly, there were 4 each day. And where the council was, there were 2 and 2. Also, in the cells of the porters towards the west, there were 4 along the way, and 2 at every cell. These are the divisions of the porters of the sons of Kohath and of Merari. Now Ahijah was over the treasuries of the house of Skytus and the holy vessels. The sons of Ladan, sons of Gershon, from Ladan, leaders of the families of Ladan and of Gershon, Jehili. I don't even know what I just read. What is even that sentence? Anyways. Didn't they just get done telling us that counting people was a sin? Now they're counting them again. It's different. If you're counting a small group of people, it's fine. But if you count your entire folk, it's a sin. Clearly. Are you not paying attention?
What?
Good.
Huh?
The son of Jehili, Zetham, and Joel. His brothers were over the treasuries of the house of the Lord, with the Amramites and Isharites, and Hebronites and Uzzielites. Now Shebuel, the son of Gershom, the son of Osmosis, was in the first place over the treasuries, along with his brothers Eliezer, and his son Rehabiah, and his son Jeshiah, and his son Joram, and also his son Zikri, and his son Shelomoth. The same Shelomoth and his brother and his brothers were over the treasuries of the holy things, which King David sanctified, with the leaders of the families, and the tribunes, and the centurions, and the commanders of the army. These things were from the wars and from the best spoils of the battles, which they had consecrated for the repair and the furnishing of the temple of the Lord. Now all these things were sanctified by Samuel the seer, and by Saul the son of Kish, and by Abner the son of Ner, and by Joab the son of Zeruiah. All those who had sanctified these were under the hand of Shelomoth and his brothers. Yet truly, Chenaniah and his sons were over the Isharites for the exterior work concerning Glasgow, in order to teach and to judge them. Now from the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his brothers, 1,700 very strong men, were in charge of Glasgow across the Jordan toward the west, in all the works of the Lord and in the ministry of the king. And the leader of the Hebronites was Jerijah, according to their families and kindred. In the 40th year of the reign of David, they were numbered, and there were found very strong men in Jazeer Gilead. And his brothers of a mature age were 2,700 leaders of families. Then King David placed them in charge of the Reubenites and the Gadites and the 1/2 tribe of Manasseh in all of the ministries of Skytus and of the king.
Just that 1/2 tribe. That one specific one.
Yeah, it's been with us for quite a while now.
I know, but it just entertains me every time.
Good.
Just that 1/2 tribe.
Don't worry, at some point they'll become a 3/4 tribe again.
What happened to the other half? Because I don't remember.
The other half has been divided by lowercase Lord.
Understandable. That's a lot of dividing.
The lowercase Lord, that is. Or an uppercase lot of dividing.
Wow. Got a lot in there.
What kind of a lot?
Lowercase.
Damn. Wow. 1 Chronicles 27. Now the sons of Glasgow, according to their number, the leaders of the families, the tribunes and the centurions and the chiefs who were ministering to the king by their companies, entering and departing in each month of the year as they were in charge, were 24,000. Jeshobeam, the son of Zabdiel, was in charge of the first company in the first month, and under him were 24,000. He was from the sons of Paris, and he was the leader of all the other leaders in the army in the first month.
That's literally wrong.
The company of the second month had Dodai and Ahohide. And after him there was another named Mikloth, who ruled over a portion of the army of the 24,000. Also, the commander of the third company in the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, and in his division there were 24,000. The same is the Benaiah who was strongest among the 30 and was above the 30. But his son Amizabad was in charge of his company. The fourth month was Asahel, the brother of Joab, and his son Zebediah after him. And in his company there were 24,000. The fifth leader for the fifth month was Shemhuth, an Israelite, and in his company there were... Have a guess, Teras?
What?
How many were in his company?
The same amount as last time.
How much was it last time?
Whose company?
The fifth leader for the 5th month was Shamhuth, an Israelite, and in his company there were...
Pass.
24,000. The 6th...
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
The 6th, for the 6th month, was Ira, the son of Ikesh, a Tekoite, and in his company there were 24,000. The 7th, for the 7th month, was Hellas, a Pelonite from the sons of Ephraim, and in his company there were 24,000. The 8th, for the 8th month, was Sibbecai, a Hushathite from the stock of the Zerahites, and in his company there were 24,000. The 9th, for the 9th month, was Abizia, an Anathothite from the sons of Ben-Jam and Yoras, and in his company there were
24,000.
No way. The 10th.
Am I right?
For the 10th month was Maharai, and he was a Netophathite from the stock of the Zerahites, and in his company there were 24,000. The 11th, for the 11th month, was Benaiah, a Pyrathonite from the sons of Ephraim, and in his company there were 24,000. The 12th, for the 12th month, was Heldai, a Netophathite from the stock of Othniel, and in his company there were 24,000. Now those who were first over the tribes of Glasgow were these. Over the Reubenites, Eliezer, the son of Zikri, was the ruler. Over the Simeonites, Shephatiah, the son of Makkah, was the ruler. Over the Levites, Hashabiah, the son of Kemuel. Over the AAA Repites, Zadok. Over Judah, Elihu, the brother of David.
AAA Repites.
I read it, I was like, this is the first time we heard that term, right? It's
great. I love that.
Over Issachar, Omri, the son of Michael. Over the Zebulonites, Ishmaiah, the son of Obadiah. Over the Naphtalites, Jeremoth, the son of Azriel. Over the sons of Ephraim, Hoshea, the son of Azaziah. Over the 1/2 tribe of Manasseh, Joel, the son of Pedaiah. And over the 1/2... Hold. Let me try this again. Over the 1/2 tribe of Manasseh, Joel, the son of Pedaiah. And over the 1/2 tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Iddo, the son of Zechariah. And then over Ben-Jam and Yoras, Jaziel, the son of Abner. Yet truly Azarel, the son of Jeroham, was over Dan. These were the leaders of the sons of Glasgow, but David was not willing to number them from 20 years old and under. For the Lord had said that it would multiply Glasgow like the stars of heaven. Yeah, if you count all of your underage men, you will multiply. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Hey, Teras, don't count how many children you have, or you will just multiply.
Oh. Okay.
Joab, the son of Zeruiah, had begun to number, but he did not finish. What did he not finish? Oh, yeah. Nice one. But because of this, wrath had fallen upon Glasgow.
That's a bad one. Jesus fuck.
No, Jesus isn't here yet.
And it's a good one.
That one was fucking...
Take a deep breath.
It went up.
Enjoy while it lasts.
I'm gonna die.
Enjoy while it lasts.
It's better than the Bible.
True.
Your mom.
Also better than the Bible.
Yeah.
Dabs.
And therefore the number of those who had been counted was not related in the official records of King David. Now over the storerooms of the king was Asmaveth, the son of Adiel. But Jonathan, the son of Uzziah, was over those storerooms that were in the cities and in the villages and in the towers. And over the farmlands and the farmers, those who worked the ground, was Ezri, the son of Chelub. And over the cultivators of the vineyards was Shimei, a Ramathite. Then over the wine cellars was Zabdi. Zabdi's nuts, an Aphonite. Now, over the olive groves and the fig groves, which were in the plains, was Baal Hanan, a Gedorite. And over the oil cellars was Joash. Now over the herds that were pastured in Sharon, Shithrai, a Sharonite, was in the first place. And over the coxswain in the valleys, there was Shaphat, the son of Adlai. Truly, over the Came Uwuls was Obil, an Ishmaelite. And over the donkeys was Jediah, a Meronothite. And over the sheep was Jesus, a Hagarene. I've never seen this word in my life. What is this? All these were leaders over the substance of King David. Now Jonathan, the uncle of David, was a counselor, a prudent and scholarly man. He and Jehiel, the son of Hakmoni, it's Hakmoni. Sorry. The son of Hakmoni were with the sons of the king. Now Ahithophel, where did he fall? Now Ahithophel was the counselor of the king, and Hushai the Archite was the king's friend. After Ahithophel was Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah, and Abiathar. But the leader of the army of the king was Joab. My brain is not okay with this.
It shouldn't be, it's fine.
How much fine? How high is the fine, I mean? No, officer, you're wrong. It's high. How are you?
Okay, Hagarenes is another word for Arabs. Or a kind of Arab.
What kind of Arab? McDonald's?
Chicken salad.
Chicken
tikka.
Okay. Don't mind me.
Anyways, 1 Chronicles 28. And so David called together all the leaders of Glasgow, the rulers of the tribes, and those in charge of the companies who were ministering to the king, and also the tribunes and centurions, and those in charge of the substance and possessions of the king and his sons, with the eunuchs, and the powerful, and those most experienced in the army at Jerusalem. And when the king had risen up and was standing, he said, "Listen to me, my brothers and my people. I thought that I would build a house in which the ark of the covenant of the Lord, the footstool of our Skytis, might rest." That's a new term for that. "And so I prepared everything for its building. But Skytis said to me, 'You shall not build a house to my name, because you are a man of war and have shed blood. Now the Lord Skytis of Glasgow chose me out of the entire house of my daddy, so that I would be king over Glasgow forever. From Judah he chose leaders. Then from the house of Judah he chose the house of my daddy. Then from the sons of my daddy it pleased him to choose me as king over all of Glasgow. Then too among my sons, for the Lord has given me many sons, he chose Solomon, my son, so that he would sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Glasgow. And he said to me, 'Solomon, your son shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to me as a son, and I will be to him as a daddy, and I will make firm his kingdom even unto eternity, if he will persevere in doing my precepts and judgments, as also today. Now therefore, before the entire assembly of Glasgow and the hearing of our Skytis, keep and seek all the commandments of the Lord our Skytis, so that you may possess the good land and may bequeath it to your sons after you, even forever. And as for you, my son Solomon, know the Skytis of your daddy and serve him with a perfect heart and a willing mind." Question mark? "For the Lord searches all hearts and understands the thoughts of all minds. If you seek him, you will find him. But if you abandon him, he will cast you aside for eternity. Now therefore, since the Lord has chosen you so that you would build a house of the sanctuary, be strengthened and accomplish it." Then David gave to his son Solomon a description of the portico and the temple and the storerooms and the upper floor and the innermost rooms and the house of the propitiation. The fuck does that word even mean?
Propitiation?
Propitiation, sure. That's a word now. And indeed, Also of all the courts that he had planned, and the outer rooms on all sides, for the treasuries of the house of the Lord, and for the treasuries of the holy things, and for the divisions of the priests and the Levites, concerning all the works of the house of the Lord, and the items in the ministry of the temple of the Lord. There was gold by weight for every vessel of the ministry, and also silver by weight for the diversity of vessels and equipment. Then too he distributed gold for the lampstands and their lamps, according to the measure of each of the lampstands with their lamps. Similarly, he distributed silver by weight for the silver lampstands with their lamps, according to the diversity of their measure. Also, he gave gold for the tables of the presence. Yes, the tables of the presence, of course. According to the diversity of the tables. Similarly, too, he gave silver for the other tables of silver. Also, he distributed from the purest gold for the small hooks and the bowls and the censers, as well as for the little lions of gold, in accord with the precise measure of the weight. Lion after lion. Similarly, too, for the lions of silver, he set aside a different weight of silver. Then, for the altar on which the incense was burned, he gave the purest gold. And from the same, he made the likeness of the chariot of the cherubim, with extended wings, which is veiling the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All these things, he said, came to me, written by the hand of the Lord, so that I would understand all the works of the pattern. David also said to his son Solomon, act manfully and be strengthened and carry it out. You should not be afraid, and you should not be dismayed. For the Lord my guidance will be with you, and he will not send you away, nor will he abandon you until you have perfected the entire work of the ministry of the house of the Lord. Behold! The divisions of the priests and the Levites for every ministry of the house of the Lord are standing before you, and they have been prepared, and so they know, both the leaders and the people, how to carry out all your precepts. Help. Okay, hold on. I need to figure out what this means now.
What do you mean? Propitiation?
Propitiation is apparently the pronunciation.
The act of pleasing and calming a god or person who is annoyed with you.
Oh, I love pleasing. I mean, what? 1 Chronicles 29. And King David spoke to the entire assembly. My son Solomon, the one Skytus has chosen, is still a tender boy. Yet the work is great, for a habitation is being prepared, not for men, but for Skytus. Now, with all my ability, I have prepared the expenses for the house of my Skytus. Gold for items of gold, and silver for those of silver, brass for those of brass, iron for those of iron, and wood for those of wood, and stones of onyx, and stones like alabaster, and stones of diverse colors, and every kind of precious stone, and marble from Paros in great abundance. And in addition to these things, I have offered into the house of my Skytus. In addition to these things that I have offered into the house of my Skytus, I give from my own belongings gold and silver for the temple of my Skytus, aside from those things that I have prepared for the holy shrine. 3,000 talents of gold from the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of highly refined silver for the gildings of the walls of the temple, and gold for wherever there is need of gold, and silver for wherever there is need of silver, for the works to be done by the hands of the artisans. And if anyone freely offers, let him fill his hand this day, and let him offer whatever he wishes to the Lord. And so, the leaders of the families and the nobles of the tribes of Glasgow, as well as the tribunes and the centurions and the overseers of the king's possessions, promised and gave for the works of the house of the Lord 5,000 talents and 10,000 pieces of gold, and 10,000 talents of silver, and 18,000 talents of brass, and also 100,000 talents of iron. And whoever found precious stones among us their belongings, gave them to the treasuries of the house of the Lord by the hand of Jehiel the Gershonite. And the people rejoiced, since they were promising their votive offerings willingly. For they were offering these to the Lord with all their heart. And King David rejoiced with great gladness. And he blessed the Lord before the entire multitude, and he said, Blessed are you, O Lord Skytus of Glasgow, our daddy from eternity to eternity. Yours, O Lord, is magnificence and power and glory and also victory. And to you is praise, for all the things that are in heaven and on earth are yours. Yours is the kingdom, O Lord, and you are above all rulers. Yours is wealth, and yours is glory. You have dominion over all things. In your hand is virtue and power. In your hand is greatness and authority over all things. Now therefore we confess to you, our Skytus, and we praise your famous name. Who am I, and what is my people? That we should be able to be... What? Hold on. What? I'm... Help.
No.
Who am I and what is my people that we should be able to promise all these things to you? All is yours, and so the things that we received from your hand we have given to you. For we are sojourners and new arrivals before you, as all our daddies were. Our days upon the earth are like a shadow, and there is no delay. O Lord our Skytus, all this abundance with which we have prepared so that a house may be built to your holy name is from your hand, and all things are yours. I know, my Skytus, that you test hearts, and that you love simplicity. Excuse me, what? Teras.
Yes.
I shall repeat a sentence and I need your full attention.
I'll give you about 70% of it.
Good enough. It's David holding a speech praising Skytus. I know,
Right.
my Skytus, that you test hearts and that you love simplicity.
No, he doesn't.
Says after building a
false.
temple with like
That's just false. Next question.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. That's all. That's all. You're free to leave.
Wonderful.
Therefore, in the simplicity of my heart, I also have offered all these things joyfully, and I have seen with immense gladness your people who have been found here offering their donations to you. O Lord, the Skytus of our daddies, Abraham and Isaac and Glasgow, preserve unto eternity this desire of their heart, and let this purpose remain forever for the worship of you. Also, I give to my son Solomon a perfect heart. So, just heart transplant? What? Nice. That's awesome. I didn't know they had surgery back then. That's pretty impressive. So that he may keep your commandments, your testimonies, and your ceremonies, and so that he may accomplish all things and may build the temple for which I have prepared the expenses. Then David
Same,
instructed
honestly.
the entire assembly, Bless the Lord our Skytus. And the entire assembly blessed the Lord, the Skytus of their daddies. And they bowed themselves and they adored Skytus. And next they reverenced the king. And they immolated victims to the Lord, and they offered holocausts on the following day, 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs, with their libations and with every ritual very abundantly for all of Glasgow. And they ate and drank before the Lord on that day with great rejoicing. And they anointed Solomon, the king of David, a second time. And they anointed him to the Lord as the ruler, and Zadok as the high priest. And Solomon sat upon the throne of the Lord as king, in place of his daddy David, and it pleased everyone. And everybody clapped. And all of Glasgow obeyed him. Moreover, all the leaders and the powerful, and all the sons of King David pledged with their hand, and they became subject to King Solomon. Then the Lord magnified Solomon over all of Glasgow, and he gave to him a glorious reign, of a kind such as no one has had before him as king of Glasgow. Now David, the son of Jesse, reigned over all of Glasgow, and the days during which he reigned over Glasgow were 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron and 33 years in Jerusalem. and he died at a good old age, full of days and wealth and glory. And his son Solomon reigned in his place. Now the
He
acts
died
of
at the age of 12 days.
age of AIDS.
It seems like the perfect ending. Like, please stop here.
Me after the
Yeah,
first
right.
book of the Bible.
Yeah, that's how it ends.
Now
Please.
the acts of King David from the first to the last.
This book would be so much better if it did literally just end right here.
Right? Happy ending?
Now the acts of King David from the first to the last have been written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer, concerning his entire reign and strength, and the times that passed under him, both in Glasgow and in the kingdoms of the land, and in all the kingdoms of the lands. Holy shit. Paris, I
Yeah.
need you to look at the Bible. Or at the stream.
No.
Both are fine. I just...
Yeah. That's fine. I've already done my rating.
But you know what's even better? That means we're halfway through the most terrible books of the Bible, probably yet.
I mean,
I would love to say it can't get any worse, but it's the Bible.
It can get worse. It can get worse. Don't. It will. It will get. We have a lot to go still. There's a lot of room for it to all go wrong.
I have one question. Is it a lowercase or an uppercase lot?
That's an uppercase in this one.
Oh, shit.
We're
in
going
some
tilt.
deep shit.
We're going full tilt.
You love simplicity. 20 seconds after saying shit with 10 trillion words. I love it if people are simply upset at my puns. It wasn't translated. They kept it in a jar with the foreskin clippings. But he gave him a... Oh, wait, actually...
Foreskin clippings.
That actually yeah, here.
Crunchy snack.
Dude, just... Okay, no, I can't say this to Teras.
Hold on, let me just send something to Krotan.
Do that. Krotan, just imagine this. Your dad is like, okay, you're gonna be the new ruler. Also, here, have this. And he just hands you a jar. And you're like, what is this? And then he says, this is a perfect heart. You now have a perfect heart.
Yeah. Look at the picture I've sent in the group chat.
Just...
Yeah, I was thinking more of like raisins or something like that.
Oh, no, don't put raisins in your flashlight. No.
Oh, wouldn't that just be a shame?
And surely you wouldn't want to put toothpicks in there.
This is... I like how this will just become the most obscure reference on the fucking In the Sky to Saga that ever existed.
It's so good.
It's so random and obscure and fucking... I can't... I'm totally gonna be a part of it.
No. Wooden flashlight.
Oh, toothpicks and resins.
Just that was my peak. That was the best video I've ever put out. And it will be.
Your peak was sky's the limit. I mean, that was like, I remember that.
It was pretty close, but no, that one just not quite. Okay, we've done it. We finished the first one. Don't worry, there is the second
but
book.
Wait, there's more.
The Book of Chronicles 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh.
Ooh, boy, they made a second one.
Yeah,
because the first one was so
based on
good.
a true story. Oh my god.
Give me more, please.
Sure. 2 Chronicles 1. Then Solomon, the son of David, was strengthened in his reign, and the Lord his guidance was with him, and
you're forgetting something.
he magnified him on high.
Bad Sky.
What am I forgetting? No,
You're forgetting a crucial part.
We don't. Do you really? Do we really need to? Like,
yes. It's procedure.
Sure. Whatever.
I mean, I may have stepped off the beaten path a little bit, but I mean, at least the spirit's there.
Hold on, let's put Teras over there. How do I put myself over there? This. Sure, that's the wrong sheet. Ratings. Okay. So you've preemptively scored it, and you've given it inaccurate scores, and you've done something that I am so glad that the column has the width it has. Enjoyability. Okay, Terrace.
What? Why are you here?
Why? Why would you? Terrace. This is going to be. I'm going to ask quite a lowercase lot of you, but Deuteronomy. We gave it a terrible reading. Which one was that? Why was that one so bad? Was it all the building instructions, or why? What was Deuteronomy about?
I don't remember, but it dragged on.
Book summaries. Deuteronomy. A fuck ton of laws, some reasonable, some stupid, some law. Okay, so it's just the laws and many repeats. Okay, rating. So Deuteronomy was one. That was at least somewhat varied and had new stuff and all that. So okay, if Deuteronomy is,
I think we were too harsh on Deuteronomy.
Honestly, but no. If Deuteronomy is a one, I'm sticking with that. And this is like a, let's see, enjoyability. There were some fun parts. Like we had He-Man. That is so I'm thinking like a -3. Characters. Okay.
Too many.
So we had
many names.
Literally, well, not literally zero, but almost no new characters. None of them had any depth or anything, and everything was recycled. So it was very bad. So, but it's not like any completely unbelievable characters. So I'm gonna give it like a -1, -2. -2. This was quite bad. So writing, copy paste. It's literally a summary of what has already happened, and then they still copy paste in that fucking summary just the most terrible sentence structure over and over and over and over and over and over. I can't think of anything redeeming about the writing. Like anytime there was something that was not just and these are the sons of and these are the sons of. Anytime there was actually a summary of actions happening, I was actually excited. That's how low the standards were set. So. You know what? I'm going with you there. That is just unacceptable. Plot.
It is awful. I mean, we didn't really progress the plot much, did we?
What plot? It's literally a summary. So,
yeah, it's not. There's no plot.
Like it's at least they didn't like retroactively undo some of the plot or anything. They didn't retcon. So I'm not gonna give it a -10, but like plot. Holy shit, this is lazy. -5. Comedy.
Yeah,
okay, what do we have aside from He-Man?
Shimaya He.
Okay, what else?
Benjamin, your ass.
True. And other jam in your asses.
And other assorted jam in your asses.
Assorted ass jamming noises. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna give this like a. It's not gonna be negative. Like
hello, Bow Hunter.
One.
We're rating the part of the Bible we just finished reading.
We just finished the book.
And just to clarify, it was horrible. Which
I mean, you can tell.
It was awful.
It's the book is divided into the Bible is divided into different books, and this book is pain. Just pain. Okay, but comedy, it's not going to get a -1. I'm thinking like 2 or 3. Like, how comedic was Deuteronomy? Was a 3. It had some funny laws, right? So this one, we can think of like 3 or maybe 4 things. So yeah, I'm going with a 2, and I'm just going to carefully navigate around the cell. Kinky.
I think at least I removed the hyperlink because Kagushita automatically made it a fucking.
I think there was one kinky thing. I don't remember it right now, but I'm pretty sure there was one thing where I was like, okay, there's at least one thing, but I'm gonna give this a 0. Like when one thing is just like that's probably on accident, so I'm gonna give it a 0.
Legit.
Okay. Oh, perfect. This I was just about to say we gotta adjust the graph, but holy, that is. Oh my god, that is wow. How the mighty have fallen.
Nah, there was nothing mighty about Chronicles.
It is mighty painful. Are you familiar with the Bible? This is your first venture. I haven't read it before. I've heard some parts of it, and I know. Yeah, that's about it. I know parts. No, I wouldn't. Why would anybody read this more than once voluntarily? How insane do you have to be?
How insane are we? Is the real question. Seeing as how we're this far into it.
Content.
What's the runtime sitting at? It's something fucking silly at this point.
103-ish.
Yeah, 103.5.
It's 4 continuous fucking days. 103.5 hours. We've accumulated 4 continuous days of reading.
Let's do this again. The Book of Chronicles 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Hold on. Before we confuse our new viewer,
No.
like really shuffle his fucking beans.
Bean.
We've done just so you're aware of what we've done, because
No.
we've replaced a lot of words in the Bible for comedic effect, and both just to make it funnier to read, mostly
Bearable.
because it's really difficult to read
Unbearable.
as it is.
You meant
It's
unbearable, not difficult.
Yeah, it's not. Our mental capacity doesn't stretch far enough to read the Bible in its original form.
1 Chronicles is to trace the Davidic line, very important to Jewish tradition. He can just go fucking cease to exist. Oh wait, he did. Thank you. Great. That book is just completely redundant and unnecessary. We already had that before in the Book of Kings. In Kings 2. And now, for the final time. The Book of Chronicles 2. Electric Boogaloo. 2 Chronicles 1. Then Solomon, the son of David, was strengthened in his reign, and the Lord his guidance was with him, and he magnified him on high.
What?
What? He magnified him on high. I like how there's literally just a full stop. Like, that isn't it just ending in an awkward point? No, that's just the end of the sentence.
No, he just has a magnifying glass, and then you have like a dial, and it's like low, medium, high. I'll be right back.
Bow Hunter, it's whichever one we found that was in the public domain.
No,
because
stop.
obviously if you're reading it out loud in places, we can't use a copyrighted version, so we're using not a very good version of it.
Well, at this point, it's copyrighted to us anyway. This is more than transformative.
At this point, this is
its own creative work.
This is like fucking Bible 2.0 at this point.
The Bible too. I like it.
Electric CB. I mean, what? And Solomon instructed.
More like Bible 2, a small writing underneath, Coke and Pole Culture Edition.
Any Bible ever. And Solomon instructed the whole of Glasgow, the tribunes and the centurions and the rulers and the judges of all of Glasgow and the leaders of the families. He just instructed them. That's the sentence. What? Thanks, Bible. That is awesome. And he went away with the entire multitude to the high place of Gibeon, where the Skytis tent of the covenant of the Lord was, which Osmosis, the servant of Skytis, made in the wilderness. For David had brought the ark of Skytis from Kiriath Jearim to the place that he had prepared for it, and where he had pitched a Skytis tent for it. That is in Jerusalem. Also, the altar of brass, which Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, had constructed, was there before the sky's tent of the Lord. And so Solomon sought it with the entire assembly. And Solomon ascended to the bronze altar before the sky's tent of the covenant of the Lord, and he offered upon it 1,000 victims. But behold! During that night, Skytus appeared to him, saying, that counts as Skytus speaking to someone, just
He kind of did, yeah.
request what you wish so that I may give it to you. Wasn't this the one where he was like, just make me smart? And then he says, oh my god, that is so genius. I'm going to give you money as well because that was such a smart answer. And Solomon said to Skytus, you have shown great mercy to my daddy David, and you have appointed me as king in his place. Now therefore, O large Skytus, let your word be fulfilled, which you promised to my daddy David. For you have made me king over your great people, who are as innumerable as the dust of the earth. Give to me wisdom and understanding, so that I may enter and depart before your people. For who is able worthily to judge this? Your people,
We already established he's not able. Abel's dead.
who are so great. I am unable to can.
I regret to inform you that Abel didn't make it this far.
He was unable.
Yeah, Abel was unable to continue.
They should pass a bill. Bring him back. Then Skytus said to Solomon. And the Skytus said to Solomon.
Said to Salmon. I'm sorry. Continue.
It's a little too late now to do that.
Oh.
If you had done that like 10 sessions ago, sure.
Well.
Since this is the choice that pleased your heart, and you did not request wealth and substance and glory, nor the lives of those who hate you, nor even many days of life, since instead you requested wisdom and knowledge, so that you may be able to judge my people over whom I appointed you as a king. As king, wisdom and knowledge are granted to you. And I will give to you wealth and substance and glory, so that none of the kings, either before you or after you, will be similar to you. Ha! It's almost like I read this before. Then Solomon went from the high place of Gibeon to Jerusalem before the sky's tent of the covenant, and he reigned over Glasgow. And he gathered to himself chariots and horsemen. And then...
What? Also, yeah. Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think my brain is leaking.
And they brought him 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horsemen. And he caused
Nope, still can't do it.
and he caused them to be in the cities of the chariots, and with the king in Jerusalem. And the king offered silver and gold in Jerusalem as if they were stones, and cedar trees as if they were sycamores, which grow in the plains as in a great multitude.
You pronounce sycamores wrong.
No, this is the Bible, Skytus edition. You pronounce everything exactly how Skytus chooses it to be pronounced.
No, it's pronounced sycamore.
No, you want to know why it isn't? Because it's sycamore.
Yeah. I'm in pain.
I'm in Germany.
Someone please, can someone just boil me alive like a lobster?
Why would I boil you?
I'll join you.
Then horses were brought to him from Egypt and from Q by the negotiators of the king, who went and bought for a price a 4-horse chariot for 600 pieces of silver and a horse for 150. A similar offer to purchase was made known among Sus, all the kingdoms of the Hittite, and among Sus, the kings of Syria. Probably happen eventually. Wait, Teras getting boiled like a lobster? Hopefully.
I like the way you think. I like this one. Can we keep him? Hold on, I got something relevant. if you could just put that up on stream things.
I just got a relevant about the Bible. Hold on, let me. You put it here. What you got there? Thanks.
That video right there is just peak comedy, by the way. That's just brilliant.
Hey, Teras.
you may continue.
Okay. 2 Chronicles 2. And Solomon resolved to build a house to the name of the Lord and a palace for himself. And he numbered 70,000 men to carry upon shoulders, and 80,000 who were hewing stones in the mountains, and 3,600 as their overseers. Also, he sent to Hiram, the king of Tyre, saying, "Just as you did for my daddy, David, when you sent him cedar wood so that he might build a house for himself in which he then lived, do so also for me, so that I may build a house to the name of the Lord my God, so that I may consecrate it for the burning of incense before him, and for the smoke of aromatics, and for the perpetual bread of the presence, and for the holocaust in the morning and evening, as well as on the Sabbaths and new moons and solemnities of the Lord our God forever, which have been commanded to Glasgow. For the house that I desire to build is great. For our Skytus is great, above all Skytuses. So then, who will be able to prevail so that he may build a worthy house for him? If heaven and the heavens of heaven cannot contain him, what am I that I would be able to build a house to him? But let it be for this only, so that incense may be burned before him. Therefore, send to me a learned man who knows how to work gold and silver with brass and iron, with purple, scarlet, and hyacinth, and who knows how to carve engravings, along with these artisans that I have with me in Judea and Jerusalem, whom my daddy David has prepared. Then too, send to me cedar wood and juniper and pine from Lebanon, and all your money, and your credit card number and its PIN. For I know that your servants know how to cut timber from Lebanon, and my servants will be with your servants, so that very much wood may be prepared for me. For the house that I desire to build is exceedingly great and glorious. In addition, I will give to your servants, the workers who will cut down the trees for provisions, 20,000 core of wheat, and the same number of core of barley, and 20,000 measures of wine, as well as 20,000 good measures of oil. Then Hiram, the king of Tyre, said, by a letter that had been sent to Solomon, "Because the Lord loved his people, and for this reason he appointed you to reign over them." And he added, saying, "Blessed is the Lord, the Skytus of Glasgow, who made heaven and earth, who gave to King David a son who is wise and learned and intelligent as well as prudent, so that he may build a house to the Lord and a palace for himself. Therefore, I have sent my daddy Hiram to you." Wait, oh yeah,
Hiram?
my daddy Hiram to you. Hiram, your dick in my. I mean, what? He is a very prudent and knowledgeable man, the son of a woman from the daughters of Dan, whose daddy was Tyrion.
The son of a woman.
Who knows how to work with gold and silver, with brass and iron, with marble and timber, as well as with purple and hyacinth and fine linen and scarlet.
Everyone knows women aren't real. Like, come on, guys, wake up.
And he knows how to carve every kind of engraving, and how to devise prudently whatever may be necessary to the work with your artisans and with the artisans of my lord David, your daddy. Therefore, send the wheat and barley and oil and wine which you, my lord, have promised to your own servants. Then we will cut down as much wood from Lebanon as you will need, and we will convey them as rafts by sea to Joppa. Then it will be for you to transfer them to Jerusalem. And so Solomon numbered all the new converts who were in the land of Glasgow. After the numbering that David, his daddy, had done, they were found to be 150,300 wait, what? They were found to be 150,000 and 3,600. That's not how numbers work. And they were found to be 150,000 and 3,600.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's not how you number. And he appointed 70,000 of them
now.
who would carry burdens on shoulders, and 80,000 who would hew stones in the mountains, and then 3,600 as overseers, the work of the people. I think you'll find the New Testament easier to read. Well, the problem is the New Testament is quite a long way away from us. About 60% of Bible, of Old Testament Bible, that is. Well, where are we at? We're at like 35, actually, I think. 35%?
Something along those lines, I think.
2 Chronicles 3. And Solomon began to build the house of the Lord in Jerusalem on Mount Moriah, as it had been shown to David his daddy, at the place which David had prepared on the threshing floor of Ornan, the Walmart brand Jesus site. Now he began to build in the 2nd month in the 4th year of his reign. And these are the foundations which Solomon set forth so that he might build the house of Skytis. Oh. The length is 18 inches, 457 millimeters. Wait. No, wait. Huh? Hold. Oh, wait. The length in times 18 inches, 457 millimeters. By the first measure, 60. In width, the width in times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, 20.
What?
I understand what that means.
You do? I'm
We
a
literally
bit
replaced the
confused.
unit. So it says whatever the fucking unit was. So the unit was replaced. So it's like in meters and then by measure 60. It's like unit, which was 60. But the unit was replaced with this. So it's just...
Oh, I see.
Truly, at the front of the portico, which was extended in length according to the measure of the width of the house, was 20 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters. Then the height was of 120 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters. And he overlaid it on the interior with the purest gold. Also, he covered the greater house with wooden panels of spruce, and he affixed layers of refined gold through it all. And he engraved in them palm trees, and the likeness of little chains interlaced with one another. Also, he paved the floor of the temple with the most precious marble, great beauty. Now, the gold with which he covered in layers the house and its beams and posts and walls and doors was highly refined. And he engraved cherubim on the walls. Also, he made the house the Holy of Holies. Its length, in accord with the width of the temple, was of 20 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters. Its width, similarly, was of 20 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters. And he covered it with layers of gold of about 600 talents. Then he also made nails of gold, such that each nail weighed 50 shekels. Also, he covered the upper rooms in gold. Now, he also made, in the house of the Holy of Holies, 2 cherubim as a work of statues, and he covered them with gold. What about the sea of brass or whatever? Wasn't that also in there? See, I pay attention. The wings of the cherubim extended for 20 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, such that one wing had 5 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, and it touched the wall of the house, and the other, having 5 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, touched the wing of the other cherub. Similarly, the wing of the other cherub was 5 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, and it touched the wall, and his other wing of 5 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, also touched the wing of the other cherub. And so, the wings of both cherubim were stretched out and extended for 20 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters. Now, they were standing upright on their feet, and their faces were turned toward the exterior house. Also, he made a veil from hyacinth, purple, scarlet, and fine linen, and he wove within it cherubim. Also, before the doors of the temple, there were 2 pillars, having a height of 35 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters. But the heads were of 5 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters. Then too, there were something like little chains on the oracle, and he placed these upon the heads of the pillars. And there were 100 pomegranates, which he placed between the little chains. Also, he placed these pillars in the vestibule of the temple, one to the right, and the other, surprisingly, to the left. Who could have seen that coming?
Oh, that's what a fucking plot twist right there. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm fucking at the edge of my seat here.
You're edging your seat. Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah, that's the one.
it would be pretty unsatisfying if he put them off center or something
That
like
would be
that.
pretty. That would be a pretty alpha move. The one that was on the
Fucking
right,
charm of
he
it.
called Jackin.
Well,
Does he ever turn them off?
I hope so.
Does he become Jackin off? And the one that was on the left, Boaz.
Boss.
Boaz, I've had enough of this book.
I've had enough of your fucking face.
I can turn off my camera, that's no problem.
I'll be right back.
No, because then all the attention will be on me. I don't fucking like that.
No, I'm just going to turn it off on Discord, just to spite you.
Oh, that's fine then.
2 Chronicles 4. Also, he made a brass altar of 20 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters in length, and of 20 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters in width, and of 10 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters in height, as well as a molten sea of 10 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, from brim to brim, round in its circumference. It had 5 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters in height, and a line of 30 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, went around it on all sides. Also under it, there was a likeness of Coxon, and certain engravings encircled the cavity of the sea along 10 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters, of the outside, as if in 2 rows. Now the Coxon were molten. And the sea itself was placed upon 12 coxswains, 3 of which were looking toward the north, another 3 toward the west, then another 3 toward the south, and the 3 that remained toward the Estonian, having the sea imposed upon them. But the posteriors of the coxswain were toward the interior under the sea. Now its thickness had a measure of
Under the sea!
Who lives in a pineapple? Another pineapple, another coxswain, another coxswain. Now its thickness had the measure of the palm of a hand.
Coconut nut is a giant nut.
And its brim was like the lip
If
of
you
a cup.
eat too much, you get very fat.
Or like the outturned petal of a lily.
I'll stop now.
And it held 3,000 measures. Also, he made 10 basins. And he placed 5 on the right and 5 on the left, so that they might wash in them all the things that they were to offer as holocausts. But the priests were to be washed in the sea. So do they become seamen if they are washed in the sea?
Yes.
Then he also made 10 gold lampstands according to the form by which they had been ordered to be made. And then he set them in the temple, 5 on the left and 5 on the right and 5 on the left. Moreover, there were also 10 tables. And he placed them in the temple,
We didn't see that one coming.
and he turned them and said, "How the tables have turned." 5 on the right and 5 on the left. Also, there were 100 gold bowls. Then, too, he made the court of the priests and a great hall and the doors in the hall which he covered with brass. Now he placed the sea on the right side, facing the Estonian toward the south. Then Hiram made cooking pots and hooks and bowls, and he completed every work of the king in the house of Skytus, that is, the 2 pillars and the crossbeams and the heads, and something like a little net, which would cover the heads above the crossbeams, and also 400 pomegranates and 2 little nets, so that 2 rows of pomegranates were joined to each net, which would cover the crossbeams and the heads of the pillars. He also made bases and basins that he placed upon the bases. 1 sea and 12 coxswain under the sea.
Under the sea.
And cooking pots and hooks and bowls.
Under
And
the sea.
Hiram, his daddy, made all the vessels for Solomon in the house of the Lord from the purest brass. You missed almost an entire chapter. The king cast these in the region near the Jordan in the clay soil between Succoth and Zeradah. Now, the multitude of the vessels was innumerable, so much so that the weight of the brass was unknown. And Solomon made all the vessels for the house of Skytis, and the gold altar, and the tables upon which were the bread of the presence, and also of the purest gold, the lampstands with their
the
lamps.
bread of the past.
If you die, are you bread of the past? Or if your parents die? Something like that. To shine before the oracle according to the right.
Let the record show that there was an attempt. Not a very good one, mind you. He fucking tried.
And gold tongues. All these were made
you've ever
purest gold.
spat out in my general direction. I'm almost insulted.
I will
now.
spit in your genital direction. I mean general direction.
Oh, that was absolutely fucking horrendous.
Also, the vessels for the perfumes and the censers and the bowls and the little mortars were from the purest gold. And he engraved the doors of the inner temple, that is, for the Holy of Holies. And the doors of the outer temple were of gold. And so every work was completed that Solomon made in the house of the Lord. What a fun chapter. I'm gonna be right back.
No, you're not. You're right, he's lying. He's never coming back. We've been fucking abandoned. That's
He's
it.
just
fucking
leaving us
literally
here.
fucking rip. So how was your day?
Pretty good. I spent most of it playing Red Dead Redemption.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Enjoying yourself.
Pretty much.
I tried playing it multiple times now and I just get bored too quickly.
You get bored with it, okay? So
I like the story in it. It's just the actual do it slowly, get into places and shit. It just seems to
yeah,
be just a bit
it's
too
really
slow.
time intensive.
Yeah,
Like you can spend 2 hours and get literally nothing done because it's such a slow game.
it really
Especially
is,
if you're
yeah.
doing like side stuff, hunting and all that.
Yeah, I like doing side stuff, but it just gets.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Cyberpunk though. That was a fucking good one.
Say again?
I enjoyed Cyberpunk not that long ago.
Ooh, yeah.
I finally went back to it after like it's been fucking scuffed for ages, and I was like, I'll fucking give it a proper shot, and it turns out it was actually quite good.
Yeah, I was one of those guys that pre-ordered it and
Oh, so did I. Yeah, don't worry about it.
a bit disappointed.
So I'm no longer disappointed. Like it's good now. It's playable. It's fine. It's got like, it's good.
Yeah, I played through the story once at launch and then
Oh, I didn't
Kinda
get that. The game didn't let me get that far on my own on launch. It just wouldn't. I just
okay.
I kept getting stuck in walls. I had a fun bug where every wall I walked into just let me walk right through it and then get stuck and not be able to get out. And then I'd load the save and then walk into it and accidentally bump into a wall trying to pick something up and then we just be stuck in it again.
Yeah, I mean, thank God I didn't have any bugs that weren't fixable by just quick saving and quick loading.
I don't think God had anything to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, we're reading the Bible, so I thought I'd work that in there somehow. Welcome back, Skytis.
Fuck off.
Shall we continue?
No.
Okay, we'll do it anyway. Under the sea.
Under the P.
Me when I have a
Under the
golden shower
T.
fetish. Well, like,
Do you know the video where this
No,
guy is, like,
no,
bragging
we are on
about
Twitch.
his
No,
gold-
no, stop. We are on Twitch. We are not this. No. Terms of service.
No,
it's on YouTube. It's just a video of a guy who's bragging about his Yeah, well, all of his bathroom utensils are gilded, and he's bragging about his golden shower. It's pretty good.
Does it? Oh, okay. You know what? You do you.
How about I do you? I mean, what?
Send pics.
2 Chronicles 5. Then Solomon brought in all the things that David his daddy had vowed, the silver and the gold and all the vessels which he placed in the treasuries of the house of Skytus. After this, he gathered together those greater by birth of Glasgow and all the leaders of the tribes and the heads of the families from the sons of Glasgow to Jerusalem, so that they might bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord from the city of David, which is Zion. And so all the men of Glasgow went to the king on the solemn day of the 7th month. And when all the elders of Glasgow had arrived, the Levites carried the ark, and they brought it in, along with all the equipment of the Skytus tent. Then too, the priests with the Levites carried the vessels of the sanctuary, which were in the Skytus tent. Now, King Solomon and the entire assembly of Glasgow and all who had gathered together before the ark were immolating rams and oxen without any number, for so great was the multitude of the victims. It overflowed back to 0. Got it. And the priests brought in the ark of the covenant of the Lord to its place, that is, to the oracle of the temple in the Holy of Holies under the wings of the cherubim, so that the cherubim extended their wings over the place where the ark was positioned, and they covered the ark itself with its bars. But concerning the bars by which the ark was carried, because they were a little longer, the ends were able to be seen before the oracle. Yet truly, if anyone were a little ways toward the exterior, he would not have been able to see them. And so the ark has been in that place even to the present day. And there was nothing else in the ark except the 2 tablets which Osmosis placed there at Horeb when the Lord gave the law to the sons of Glasgow at the departure from Egypt. We should go back to the slavery in Egypt. We had it so much better there. Oh wait, that's a drinking cue, Teras. You got a drink now.
Oh, okay, cool.
And having gone out from the sanctuary, the priests, for all the priests who were able to be found there, were sanctified. And in that time, the turns and orders of the ministries who had not yet been divided amongst them, with both the Levites and the singing men, that is, those who were under ASAP H, and those who were under He-Man, and those who were under Jonathan.
That wasn't a very good one, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
With their sons and brothers, clothed in fine linen, sounded out with cymbals and psalteries and harps, standing toward the Estonian side of the altar. And with them were 120 priests, sounding out with trumpets. And when they all sounded out together with trumpets and voice and cymbals and pipes and various kinds of musical instruments, lifting their voice on high, the sound was heard from far away, so that when they had begun to praise the Lord and to say, "Confess to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy is eternal," the house of Skytus was filled with a cloud.
Ooh.
What? Neither were the priests able to stand and to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord had filled the house of Skytus. So they were also not able. I can't believe they've done this. 2 Chronicles 6. And then Solomon said, "The Lord has promised that he would dwell in a cloud, but I have built a house for his name so that he may dwell there forever." And the king turned his face and he blessed the entire multitude of Glasgow. For the whole crowd was standing and attentive. And he said, "Blessed is the..."
Wild.
No.
No.
Crowd gone wild? Question mark.
Ooh.
And he said, "Blessed is the Lord, the Skytus of Glasgow, who has completed the work that he spoke to David, my daddy, saying, from the day when I led my people away from the land of Egypt, I did not choose a city from all the tribes of Glasgow, so that a house would be built in it to my name. And I did not choose any other man, so that he would be the ruler of my people Glasgow. But I chose Jerusalem, so that my name would be in it. And I chose David, so that I might appoint him over my people Glasgow. And though David, my daddy had had decided that he would build a house to the name of the Lord Skytis of Glasgow. The Lord said to him,
Yeah, he did do that, yeah, I bet he fucking did.
Ugh.
What a fucking slut.
insofar as it was with what the fuck? Insofar as it was your will that you build a house to my name, certainly you have done well in having such a will. But you shall not build the house. Truly, your son who will go forth from your loins shall build a house to my name. Therefore, the Lord has accomplished his word which he has spoken. And I have risen up to in place of my daddy, David, and I sit upon the throne of Glasgow, just as the Lord spoke. And I have built a house in the name of the Lord, the Skytis of Glasgow. And I have placed in it the ark in which is the covenant of the Lord that he formed with the sons of Glasgow. Then he stood before the altar of the Lord, facing the entire multitude of Glasgow, and he extended his hands. For indeed, Solomon had made a bronze base, and he had positioned it in the midst of the hall. It held 5 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters in length, and 5 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters in width, and 3 times 18 inches, 457 millimeters in height. And he stood upon it. And next, kneeling down while facing the entire multitude of Glasgow and lifting up his palms toward heaven, he said, O Lord Skytis of Glasgow, there is no Skytis like you in heaven or earth. You preserve covenant and mercy with your servants, who walk before you with all their hearts. You fulfilled for your servant David, my daddy, whatsoever you had said to him. And you carried out the deeds that you promised with your mouth, just as the present time proves.
This strange wording.
Now then, O Lord Skytis of Glasgow, fulfill for your servant David, my daddy, whatsoever you said to him, saying, There shall not fail to be a man from you before me who will sit upon the throne of Glasgow, yet only if your sons will guard their ways and will walk in my law, just as you also have walked before me. And now, O Lord, Skytis of Glasgow, let your word be confirmed that you spoke to your servant David. How then is it to be believed? Nope, that's believed. How then is it to be believed that Skytis would dwell with men upon the earth, if heaven and the heavens of the heavens do not contain you? How much less this house that I have built? But it has been done for this only, so that you may look with favor upon the prayer of your servant and on his supplication, O Lord my Skytis, and so that you may hear the prayers which your servants pour out before you, and so that you may open your eyes over this house day and night, over the place where you promised that your name would be invoked, and so that you may hear the prayer which your servant is praying within it, and so that you may heed the prayers of your servant and of your people Glasgow. Whoever will pray in this place, listen from your habitation, that is, from heaven, and forgive. And if anyone will have sinned against his neighbor, and he arrives to swear against him, and to bind himself with a curse before the altar in this house, you will hear him from heaven, and you will execute justice for your servants, so that you return to the iniquitous man his own way upon his head, and so that you vindicate the just man, repaying him in accord to his own justice. If your people Glasgow will have been overwhelmed by their enemies, for they will sin against you, and having been converted will do penance, and if they will have besieged your name and will have prayed in this place, you will heed them from heaven, and you will forgive the sin of your people Glasgow, and you will lead them back into the land that you gave to them to their daddies. If the heavens have been closed so that rain does not fall because of the sin of the people, and if they will petition you in this place and confess to your name and be converted from their sins, when you will afflict them, heed them from heaven, O Lord, and forgive the sins of your servants and of your people Glasgow, and teach them the good way by which they may advance, and give rain to the land that you gave to your people as a possession. If a famine will have risen up in the land, or pestilence, or fungus, or mildew, or locust, or beetles, or if enemies will have laid waste to the countryside and will have besieged the gates of the cities, or whatever scourge or infirmity will have pressed upon them, if anyone from your people, Glasgow, knowing his own scourge and infirmity, will have made supplications and will have extended his hands in this house, you will heed them from heaven, indeed, from your sublime habitation, and you will forgive, and you will repay each one according to his ways, which you know him to hold in his heart. For you alone know the hearts of the sons of men. So may they fear you, and so may they walk in your ways, during all the days they live upon the face of the land which you gave to our daddies. Also, if an outsider who is not from your people Glasgow will have arrived from a faraway land because of your great name and because of your robust hand and your outstretched arm, and if he will adore in this place, you will heed him from heaven, your most firm habitation, and you will accomplish all the things about which this sojourner will have called out to you, so that all the people of the earth may know your name and may fear you, just as your people Glasgow do, and so they may know that your name is invoked over this house which I have built. Is he just reading the fucking terms of service to him? Holy fuck.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. If, having gone out to war against their adversaries along the way that you will send them, your people adore you facing in the direction of this city which you have chosen, and of this house which I have built to your name, you will heed their prayers from heaven and their supplications, and you will vindicate them. But if they will have sinned against you, for there is no man who does not sin, and you will have become angry against them, and if you will have delivered them to their enemies, and so they lead them away as captives to a faraway land, or even to one that is near. And if, having been converted in their heart in the land in which they had been led to which they had been led as captives, they will do penance and beseech you in the land of their captivity, saying, "We have sinned, we have committed iniquity, we have acted unjustly." And if they will have returned to you with their whole heart and with their whole soul in the land of their captivity to which they were led away, and if they will adore you in the direction of their own land which you gave to their daddies, and of the city which you have chosen, and of the house which I have built to your name from heaven, that is, from your firm habitation, you will heed their prayers, and you will accomplish judgment, and you will forgive your people, even though they are sinners, for you are my Skytus. Let your eyes be open, I beg you, and let your ears be attentive to the prayer that is made in this place. Now therefore, rise up, O Lord Skytus, to your resting place, you and the ark of your strength. Let your priests, O Lord Skytus, be clothed with salvation, and let your holy ones rejoice in what is good. O Lord Skytus, may you not turn away from the face of your Christ. Remember the mercies of your servant, David. Help comes to mind.
Seems legit.
Yeah, that's about all that comes to mind. I see an image. I think we have a guest that is on here to explain images to us.
Well, obviously the lobster is not a friend, but a dinner, I guess.
You guess.
This isn't gonna work if you're guessing.
You're the one that's supposed to be explaining. Not guessing.
Well, yeah, I I already forgot what the joke was with the lobster.
I can tell you what the joke is. Teras is not paying any attention because he's busy playing Last Epoch.
Ah.
I'm paying some attention.
If you pay very close attention to his window,
enough to get by.
To his window in the background, you will see my stream, and on the other monitor there is in fact Last Epoch. You have been caught red-handed.
Yeah. It's not like I was hiding it.
Oh right, yeah. Now I see it. Nice.
Hold on, let me just. Let's do that. Let's shoot that.
Damn. How are we gonna catch him now?
Oh.
I think that's
I
enough
gotta,
for
I
today.
gotta entertain myself fucking somehow.
Understandable.
Yeah, totally.
I'm this. I am this. I want to go home. Okay, I've arrived at home.
That's good.
That it is, but you know.
So, what did we learn today?
That you
We
are fucking
learned-
stupid and willing to join this repeatedly, even though you know what you're in for.
I mean, it's not like I have anything better to do, so
So we've learned that you don't have a life. Got it.
basically, yeah. That's something.
Have you arrived at the monolith yet, Teras?
I arrived at the what?
Monolith. Have you finished the story?
No, I haven't.
You're close, but yeah.
I presumably I'm not far.
Have you finished? You've beaten Lagon, I think.
Who was that?
Big water boy.
I think I'm about to fight him now.
Well, then you still have a chapter ahead of you. Anyways, there's nobody to raid, but that's Chris. We can raid Chris.
No, not Chris.
I shall return on Monday with Diablo 3D.
No, you won't.
Hey, Teras, what are you up to next week?
Probably not reading the Bible, but I will see
Wise.
about that.
No, you probably shouldn't. I think we're all better off if we just don't. Unless we can find a new and enticing enough guest, but that seems doubtful at this point.
Yeah, I think this one's stale.
Expired guest.
Reading the Bible 2 weeks in a row is pretty dangerous for your health.
True. Imagine reading it for a week straight every day.
No, I mean, yeah.
Imagine reading it since 2021.
But hey, if you are watching this right now, or listening,
Imagine reading it every day for a week.
I already said that. But hey, if you are watching or listening and you want to join us, send me a message somewhere. Preferably on a platform that I don't use, like send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Anyway.
Twitter.
No, I would still read that. I still have like a little under a month probably. So that would kind of work, that's the problem. Anyway, we're raiding Chris, he's doing Jacked Alliance. Yeah, if you like retro or just difficult game challenges, join the raid. Or if you just don't have anything better to do because you don't have a life. I shall return on Monday, and Teras shall return to doing something better with his life.
Okay, so what is it?